I'll take it away. I might turn my fan on, but it might be loud. But
That's okay.
What's going on? We're live. We're here.
Yeah. So, hey, everybody. So, I was at the Trump rally. I was in the event myself, and my sister and my mom and my aunt were standing outside of the event where the shooter was. And so, where I was standing, I wasn't in the main area. There was easily probably 30 plus thousand people there, hands down.
Whoa.
Hands down. It was crazy. And so, there was, I'd probably say, like 10,000 people immediately in the central area where President Trump was,
For sure.
where the bleachers were. And then there were a ton of people sitting in seats around him.
Yes.
And then as it got further back, it was just people in the lawn. I was probably about 20 rows back from the seats sitting in the lawn. And
20 rows back from?
Like where all the seats were.
Yeah.
So there were probably at least like 20 rows of seats behind, or I guess in front of President Trump, all the news media people. And then it was just about 20, 30 rows of people, general admission, no seats in the lawn area where I was sitting.
Okay.
And then my sister, my mom, and my aunt were outside of the venue. There is a business it would be President Trump's right-hand side.
Yes.
It was outside of the fence.
Yes.
It was a business called American Glass Research. It's been there years.
AGR.
And so there were people standing along the fence. You couldn't see President Trump, but you could hear him.
Yes.
And so...
Okay, so it was like a Taylor Swift thing. They're all gathered around because they didn't have tickets.
We actually saw Trump come up the stage, like the back steps to where he kind of came ever forward, whatever, obviously, because I could not see because I was along the fence line. We saw him come up, and it happened short moment. Like I'm only grasping it in moments because it seemed like such a quick time that it happened within, but it seems like it was only maybe 10, 13, 15-ish minutes that all of this transpired within. And I am only here to tell my story because I do not want the media to put out a narrative that is not true, that it didn't happen, that it's fake. I was right there. I was standing feet from where the shooter was on the roof. And I am not even 100% sure if the man that they're portraying to us right now is the actual shooter. I don't know if I should necessarily say that or if I have the brains to say that, but I saw some gentleman pull up into the blocked off parking lot where there were only empty police cars that they had left to park. And this person came up on a black motorcycle. It was a Harley. They were wearing very tight black wash skinny jeans with a yellow "Don't Tread on Me" flag around their neck. They got off the motorcycle. I noticed them for a moment because I noticed the flag and it stuck in my brain.
Right.
And so I noticed them and I turned back around towards where Trump was, towards the fence to listen. And then I'm just kind of, looking around, taking in the area around me. And then I turned obviously all the way around me and he is gone and he's no longer there. And so I looked to my right up the fence line. And I did not see him. And he's wearing that large flag on his back. So he would be easy to spot in the crowd. And there's not very much farther than you could go from where I was looking. And so then I looked back to where his bike was parked. And I saw that the side door of the building was wide open. And I had walked right past that door maybe half an hour before Trump pulled up. So I saw that door was not open. And then when I noticed that the door was not open, I saw a police officer coming straight towards the door. And then I saw a state trooper coming from my right running. And I saw him draw his weapon. And then more cops came running towards that general area, fleeing around the building. And then all of a sudden, what I heard was 5 shots. I know what gunshots sound like, and they were 100% gunshots. I don't think they were from a super high powerful gun or anything like that. I just think it's something that anybody could probably get,
Yeah.
So,
well, and
yes,
it would seem to me if there was one there, to be used for a criminal purpose, it would probably be one that's concealable because
Yes.
Right.
I mean, I don't want to make any stereotypes. I never been to a Trump event,
Yes.
but I assume it's like an open carry type of style of thing
Yeah.
where you're
Well, I
not going to
went-
want to be
not-
the antagonist. Not there.
Brittany, I went through security, and you
There's no
definitely
gun.
no way you could get a
Yeah.
gun
No.
into the
Okay.
Yeah,
rally.
there's no way.
No way.
That's good to know. There was like metal detectors and stuff.
Yeah, it was a whole
Hundreds of
Secret
cops.
Service was everywhere. You had to go
Okay.
through metal detectors. Now, I will say they were lenient because some people were allowed to bring certain things in that they said you weren't allowed to bring in.
Like what?
For instance, aerosolized sunscreens.
Right,
Like
the spray.
Yeah, like a
cans,
spray.
Right.
Some
They were like,
people
we
had
don't
them
want
in.
these people cooking out here in this sun because look
Right.
at them.
Yeah,
They just,
yeah.
it's hot.
But that's what all I'll say is it didn't even sound like gunfire at first. It sounded like somebody letting off firecrackers, and then all of a sudden everybody
Yeah,
got
that's
down.
from the video that I'm watching, playing. It was like it didn't sound like that. Like it was like pow pow, like little
Yeah.
pop.
But to the average person who has never experienced something like that before, I have actually experienced a shooting in my life before. I've been through something like that. So I
Wow.
immediately knew
Yeah.
what those were. And I'm not exactly sure if they came from the police, from the shooter. I that's something I will not speculate on. And again,
Right.
I
We don't know
if
how
they-
many came from where and who and
Right.
what.
No, I heard initially 5. I can
Okay.
count them off from sound recognition, like in memory in my head. And like I said, I've been through a shooting before, and so I do have a little bit of that trauma brain inside of me. So going through something like this again, I immediately was like, oh my gosh, this is a shooting, and I don't, so I'm not sure. And like, again, I'm not, like you said, not trying to speculate or stereotype
Right.
or anything like that. But to me, people that are there are saying that they saw this gentleman army crawling and trying to scale the side of the building with a gun. And I saw someone come up on a motorcycle who should not have been there, dressed like MAGA people would be, or Trump supporters, whatever you want to call us. And he disappeared. And then the door was open of the building that should obviously not have been open. And then the cops were surveilling. So something is fishy about the whole
y'all
thing.
educate me on what's the deal with the roof? I didn't like get to that point in the I'm not sure what is. Are they shot the guy? He was on the roof.
So
Supposedly.
There are photos, and I can text you the photo, Brittany, later, of the gentleman that that was the shooter that they killed. He was on the roof, and so there's photos going around that people are sharing.
Then presumably the projectile would have had to come from an upward angle down.
Correct.
Yes.
And it did not seem like it came from an upward angle.
It
And then
seemed
my
like it was
my other friend who was there sitting, I had a few friends that were in the first few rows, and people definitely got shot.
Yes.
People
They saw you.
like,
Did some
they
of your
saw
friends saw
civilians.
people or?
Civilian, unarmed civilian people got shot by this person.
Yeah.
And I am
Wow.
going to call this person a terrorist. You do not do this. You do not do this stuff. I think people have us so misconstrued as people who support Trump. We don't want to hurt nobody. We don't want to do anything. We just want to live our lives and be peaceful and normal. That's it. And for someone to come and do
every
that.
group has insane
Radicals.
lunatics, and
Yes.
it's like they got some that's insane, but
Exactly.
Yes.
they got insane lunatics in literally every group, every religion, every political. Y'all probably y'all know I don't really choose one, but
Right.
I am for the people.
Yes.
And that is why I am making this video, because
Thank you.
whatever you think about Trump or not, people were also shot.
Yeah.
Yes.
People
Like
were-
to make a
you.
joke,
Yes.
and it's like, oh, but they're making that up. Okay, well,
No.
listen, people have made stuff up, and if they making this up, we can address that when we have the evidence for it. But from
Right.
what right now, I'm seeing somebody's, at least one person's no longer with us.
I promise you, I would never lie. I swear on my soul, I would never make this up. I was right there. I was feet away from it. I dragged my aunt out of the line of literal fire. I am so serious. I want people to know that this really happened. It is real. It is not made up. I don't know what the circumstances in the deep are, because there probably are. We already know how it goes, but it is real and it happened. My mom was right next to me. My aunt was right next to me.
Does mom have anything to add?
Mom knows that.
Do you want to go on?
Dropped the tripod.
Do you want to say anything?
I was paying attention.
Oh my God! Now I want to come sit out there with y'all.
Yeah,
y'all out there on the porch,
Brittany.
please.
We're only like 5 hours away from New Jersey. We're 5 hours from New Jersey, so
let me get in my ridge line and come sit out there, seeing your mom. Like, hold on, let me get in that pool, girl. Hey.
But anyway,
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
And I'm real observant to what goes on.
I call her trained as ever.
Yeah.
Sorry, Brittany.
So
Welcome to the family.
There was like a barn, and there was two guys up there, and they were paying attention. They were like spotters, whatever. They had binoculars, they had their tripods, and they had their guns, and they're just scoping. We were, I'm sure they heard us. We weren't.
Sorry, Brittany. The police are strolling down our street, as they're probably going.
We live 5-minute walk from.
They want to hear. So. They want to hear the tea. Oh, that y'all live by it.
I'm paying attention. You know, you see unmarked cars. You see one. Oh, he wasn't there before. You see another one. So I'm standing there watching all the military guys, and they're just standing there lined up by the gate, because whether that was a ploy to say, okay, Trump's going to come in the other way, or is he coming in this way, or what? And
like
they're
a
all
decoy.
standing there like this with their fingers on the trigger. I am paying attention, because I'm like, okay, they got the binoculars. They are paying attention. And I'm like, uh-oh. The one guy that was up there spotting, he was gone. So I see the other guy. He puts his tripod, and there's the gun. And then I'm like, holy shit.
Something's
yeah.
She's referring to the sniper that was on the building behind President Trump.
On the roof to protect Trump.
Right. Yeah. Got it.
And then I can hear everybody running. You see all these cops coming towards the building, saying he's on the roof, on the roof, you know, and like we all, and then they said,
what did all y'all do? It was like,
we ran like hell.
We ran and hid behind trees, Brittany.
We're like, we couldn't believe it.
What the hell is going on now? I don't know. But we ran and hid behind trees.
Because it's just like, I don't know, but I'm pretty sure, and I'm getting out of here.
Right.
Yes.
Right. Like we just, and then,
what the fuck?
Well, real quick, when we were all in the stands, we didn't even really know what was going on.
Right.
We just kind of ducked and covered and all just kind of said prayers and just kind of held our cool until we got more instructions, because we really didn't know what was going on.
What were people around y'all saying?
People right around me didn't know what was happening at first. And then we saw Secret Service gather President Trump off the stage. And as he was going off the stage, President Trump stuck his head out, raised his fist up, and he was fine. So he seems okay.
How was that moment? It seemed like a pretty hype moment. People kind of started cheering and screaming. Like, was it just a relief because everyone knew he was okay? Or was it like,
that's all I cared. That's all I wanted to see. I wanted to make sure he was okay and that other people were okay. Like,
so how did the news spread around y'all? Were y'all just there and had to read it on your phone?
No,
or was
all
it like
of a sudden they just tell us to escort out of the premise slowly. And so as all of us just started walking out, they started, you know, people just started talking. And then a few people beside me said, yes, President Trump did get shot. President Trump got shot and other people got shot. I was sitting right beside a woman. And the next thing I know, she's down and I start seeing blood. And that's when I know I need to get out.
You saw a woman next to you?
This is what a woman told me as
someone's
I was walking
relaying
out.
this to you.
I was too far away from the initial event. So I didn't see any blood. I didn't see any actual firsthand gruesomeness. Thank goodness.
Yeah, so was there like enough room for y'all to kind of retreat and spread out? Or was it
wasn't any like panic. It was, nobody started running. It was actually very organized. I don't think any of us truly realized what happened until then you start seeing the Life Flight helicopter land and you start seeing more police start swarming and you just knew something happened that wasn't supposed to happen. Because at first we were all just waiting to see if President Trump was going to come back on. And like, was it just a hoax of like firecrackers or something? But then we realized, oh no. And then when I saw the Life Flight helicopter land and then cell phone service became very shoddy too.
Yeah, they like shut all that.
I couldn't
down.
get a hold of any of my family, so everybody's blowing my phone up thinking something happened to
You
me.
know, I
And I'm
was
like,
just talking to somebody the other day about like we need to go back to like how we did in the 90s, where it's like if
walkie-talkie.
we get lost, we're gonna all meet at this spot.
Yep.
Yes,
Like, or
yes.
if you get lost, you got to go to register 3 at the
Yes.
Walmart because Miss Debbie will page your mama. Like, we got to get back to
Yeah.
what's
Yeah.
gonna happen whenever the phone, because you can just lose the phone, and it's
Yeah.
like, oh, but I got an Apple Watch and I got a this that, and it's like, oh man,
No,
I remember
gotta
being
be
at like
smart.
big football games at LSU. And it's like you could be lost from your friends for 7 hours because
Yes.
like, you could
100%.
like
I mean, it's the same thing here if we were to go to like a Steeler game or a
Right.
Pirate game or even just a regular concert
That would
at
be
like Burgettstown, we call
so
it.
scary to not be able to find your mom,
Yes.
your sister, your brother at a
Yes.
rally. Oh my God. But
I
it
hugged
sounds
my
like at least
dad.
there wasn't stampedes.
No, it was very organized and everybody was very respectful.
I hugged my dad so tight.
There were a few outliers that I was like, you're a little crazy. I'm going to stay away from you.
And
But
you'll have that. You
Yeah.
have lunatics everywhere you go, and all that.
Some gentleman, or I'm not necessarily going to call him a gentleman, but he was walking through the neighborhood area on a bullhorn,
yeah.
saying some very outlandish stuff. And it's like, sir, we do not feel that way. And we're not going to just rah in the streets because some kook and crazy decided to do something very radical.
Yeah.
Like that's not who we are. And we're
We
not
have
going to
to
do
say that, you know, and it's like, I'm glad that y'all are on here and you do take, because I'm always on here going, I don't pick a side. And it's like, no, y'all picked a side. And guess
Yeah.
what? You deserve to be able to peacefully go do that.
Yeah.
And I don't think that you should go to your chosen political candidate's event and have to fear that you might leave
No.
in a body bag.
Yes.
I never thought that going there today. I was so
Oh, me
excited.
neither.
It was my first time being able to
It was
go
a
to
beautiful
a
night.
rally to
It was
experience
beautiful. Yeah.
it. And you know what? Everybody there was very respectful. Everybody was very kind. It was very nice talking to just people in general and talking about where people's backgrounds are, how they got there, what their beliefs are. And that's what I like overall from my experience there, because I had to get there at like noon to stand in line through
Get your
security.
spot.
Like it's an event and it's long and it was hot.
It's
And
hot today.
everybody
Yes.
was very respectful and everybody was very kind. It was organized the best they could. And I give my hats off to all the people involved. The law enforcement people were
Yes.
very,
Shout out to
very,
them.
very
God bless
reactive.
them. God bless
in a
them.
Hey,
good
listen,
way.
shout out to them where we can, because
Yeah.
you know
Yes.
we see them acting a damn fool half the time.
And then they took President Trump to the local hospital here, Butler Memorial Hospital,
Yes.
and it's on lockdown right now because I'm a nurse and I have friends that work at the hospital. So they were like,
okay, good.
well, the hospital's on lockdown. And then, yeah.
Which makes sense in this
Yes.
situation in
Yes.
particular. So I wonder, let me look it up. Like, have y'all heard any information on any suspected who this shooter is? Like,
Nope, we've just seen a
nothing's
picture.
out yet.
We've only seen like a very not so great picture of him. It seemed only of him, I will say, unalived on the roof of the building.
So there is picture of that somewhere
Yes,
public.
there is.
Yeah.
It is
Okay.
not the same person. And again, I am not accusing anybody. I have no idea. I am just stating what I saw and what I feel in my gut, because I know a vibe when I catch a vibe. It's
Mhm.
not the same gentleman.
Vibe tribe.
Or I can say gentleman,
Yeah.
but it was not the same man that I saw get off of a motorcycle who should not have been there. And to me, now that I've really like processing it and everything, things just don't add up. Like,
Right,
they
and it
never
could
really
be
do.
like a group of people could have been working together too.
Yes,
you know,
maybe possibly.
maybe he wasn't the actual.
Possibly.
You know, there's a lookout, there's a decoy, there's a.
Yes.
I don't know
Yeah.
how. I wouldn't even know how to begin to orchestrate something like this. So I really can't get in the minds of these people and what they do.
Sorry.
No.
What's
I-
Mama saying, or is that Auntie?
No.
All there?
Oh,
No,
yeah,
they're just they're
chit-chat.
all just BS. That's just how we are. We
Talking
all just
about it
BS
all.
and talk over each
No
other. But
family.
Yeah.
I say I'm not sure. I really don't know. But again, if I was someone trying to do something as such, would you be all out army crawling in the grass out in the like? I'm not doing this. Please don't come
No.
to me, government. I would never do this. Please, 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 God, I would never do anything crazy like
I
that.
don't know what I would do. Yeah, I might just, I
Right.
don't know, write a
Would
diss
you-
track or
but
something.
in my mind, I'm like, I wouldn't do something like that. But I would hope nobody would do something like that.
That's
Right.
what I'm saying. It's hard for me to even try and psychoanalyze these lunatics.
Yes, because
they're
I know I
insane.
wouldn't. So you can't even think like a person who would, because we never would. We just never. I just don't even know how you could pull something off like that. Ridiculous.
We were just.
We
Yeah.
just all were trying to have
Yeah,
a good time celebrating our
I'm
patriotic.
sorry
love
that
for the
happened to
country.
y'all. I think y'all
It is
should have been
okay.
allowed to go over there and just people leave y'all mind your business
Yeah.
and do your rally. I
Right.
mean,
Yes.
I would even like I said that before. I've said it on a video before. Like, I don't know. I guess if Donald Trump was having one by my house, I guess I would go. Like if Biden was, I'll probably go. I went to a
Right.
Bernie Sanders
Same.
one before because like I just
I've been
wanted
to a Bernie
see.
rally too.
Yeah.
I wanted to see. Well, I mean,
Yeah.
at the time I was in my like very heightened left state, you
Same.
know, and so I was like very actually, you know what? Sitting here today, I pretty much still can't find much to complain about Bernie. I could complain about it a little bit,
Same.
but he's fine. Like I
Yeah.
still like him, to be
Yeah.
honest. I
He
still
just
like
looks like a
him.
mean old man.
Yeah, he's just
He
like
does.
a run of the mill, like
That's my take on him.
and I thought it was like, I don't know, he was the chosen one when that little bird came and sat
Same.
on his podium that one time. Oh, what simpler times. But anyway, why did I start that whole thing? Oh, I went to the rally. I mean,
Yeah.
I would go to a Trump rally and I would expect to leave not having been shot.
Right.
So
I mean, I've been to concerts. I've been to many events.
Yes.
I was
Many.
just in Philly for 4th of July last weekend, and that I would expect to be shot in Philly before getting shot in Butler, Pennsylvania.
So
5 minutes from our house.
Yeah. Meridian.
Yes.
my heart goes out to the people that got shot and they are no longer with us.
Yeah, prayers, because
My
there
God,
are
to their families. Probably some of them were that lady where Amanda was there with their family.
right.
Yeah.
There was a video. My friend who was at the rally sent it to me. I don't know what news source shared. It was an ER physician that was in the stands where people were shot. Yes, and he was explaining the situation at hand and saying that the gentleman had a head wound and that there was
Sorry,
brain
I got
matter.
my thing all messed up. Let me get my thoughts organized. Okay.
You're
Me
good.
too.
Take a
Sorry.
breath.
Yeah, we're all
We'll
here.
do some Wim Hof breathing together.
Like a one-woman production over here. Oh
Yes.
Lord. Okay. Thank you for the super chats. I'm gonna get to those in a second. Let's start from that again.
Yes.
Sorry.
That's okay.
It's live.
Yes, lost my train of thought. I don't even know
I'm
where
so
we
sorry.
were.
Oh my
It's
God.
okay. Gotta love live videos.
So-
I feel
There
like
was a
y'all are
kid-
like my cousins from another like dimension or something.
There
Like
was
it
a-
feels
there was a
very like
guy-
familiar.
He was actually close in the crowd, and he saw a few people.
Yes, the ER physician.
Yes, get
And that was someone your friend sent you a screenshot said that.
Yeah, of a
Yes.
video of an ER physician who started helping out bystanders in the who
Joseph?
got shot.
Shot,
Yes. And so
Okay, good.
he was reporting that there was a gentleman near him who sustained a head injury and that the ER physician described what he saw as brain matter.
Okay, so we read on here a
She's
verbal
like, wait,
account
hold
of that. They were
Yes.
just saying Joseph, and I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
who is
So maybe
Joseph?
that is the ER physician.
Yeah.
If I'll have my friend send me the video and I'll send you that video of the ER physician too if I can get that.
Yeah, it does seem that this has been updated. Let me read this update with y'all if that's okay.
Yeah.
Mhm.
We got from 15 seconds ago. This appears, I don't know if y'all heard, they are investigating it as a assassination attempt.
Yep.
Yes.
Mhm. Yeah.
So this appears to be the first one since Reagan was shot in 1981. The
Yeah.
attack by a shooter who law enforcement officials say was then killed by the Secret Service was the first attempt to assassinate a president or presidential candidate since Ronald Reagan in 1981. The perils of campaigning took on a new urgency after this is AP News, but if y'all can't see the top. After the perils of campaigning took a new urgency after the assassination of Robert F. Kennedy in California in 1968. And again in 1972, when Arthur Bremer shot and seriously hurt George Wallace, who was running as an independent on a campaign platform that has sometimes been compared to Trump's. Okay, that's interesting. So someone
Yeah.
else
Ooh,
who's
that is
often
interesting.
compared to Trump has also, okay, interesting. That's George Wallace, apparently, is that person's name. That led to increased protection of candidates, even as threats persisted, notably against Jesse Jackson in 1988 and Barack Obama in 2008. Presidents, particularly after the assassination of JFK in 63, have even greater layers of security. Trump is a rarity as both a former president and a current candidate. And look, what I will say is this, and y'all can correct me if I'm wrong, if you got a different impression here, but I'm not sure the Secret Service really actually did very much.
It seemed like it was
Kinda.
more local law enforcement and state
Right.
police and like
Right.
county police that jumped in more.
Like he was holding the side of his ear and all this everything shots were done by the time they got on him. And look, that's not me saying that they even could have possibly done better. I don't know.
Right.
I don't know.
In terms of protecting Trump on the actual stage, I think it was the Secret Service. In terms of behind the fence and the shooter, there were
Local
at
military.
least 100 cops that got
Yeah.
on that spot immediately before a shot was
So
even
was it
fired.
like
And that it was
National Guard or something up in there?
no, it was just local. I saw one of my local police officers, and then I saw one of our state troopers.
It was the sheriff's office.
Yes.
It was the state police, and it was probably military or SWAT or whatever they.
Or maybe National Guard.
Yeah.
National Guard. But who I saw immediately going like towards the building, as soon as I realized the door was open on the side of the building and the cops, it was all of like, I would say maybe not so much our local, but like the state and like local police is what I saw. And they were there.
Well, good on them for doing their
Yes.
job.
And they
Thank
told us
you.
all to get the hell out.
They saved my family's life
Yeah.
because we were literally, I mean, I was literally right there.
Yeah.
I was feet away from it. I could be dead right now and not
Yeah.
even speaking. And I will say that with my full chest because it really, I was right there.
We all were. And then they come down along the fence. They were inside the fence. We were outside.
Yes.
The
The police.
and they told us all to get the hell out of there. So we
To
scrambled
get out and to get down.
And thank
Get
God
your ass
we
out
were
of here.
behind big trees. The trees were huge.
And there
thank
were
God.
trees. There were like
Y'all became tree huggers today.
Tree huggers.
Yes.
Yeah.
I would,
I'm telling
yes.
you what.
Amen,
And
Jesus.
and I don't like to push religion on anybody, but I was surely saying my prayers and thanking the
Yeah.
Lord that
Oh,
everybody
yeah.
We
wasn't
were too.
okay.
Holy
And
shit.
he was truly with us. I believe he was with God or with Trump. And I'm glad that Trump is alive. I'm glad that everybody who made it out of there okay is alive and is hopefully safe.
But my friend was sitting there on the bleachers where there was some people shot, and I don't know. I know one person did not make it for sure. She sent me a video. She said it was so damn scary.
So former President Trump has made a statement.
Okay.
Oh wow, okay.
Posted a statement. Let me pull it up.
Yeah. Oh, on Truth
So
Social.
this is true.
Okay.
So y'all know he don't do nothing but on Truth Social.
Yeah,
Yep.
that's his social media site. Gotta love it.
Did y'all know? I know y'all knew. I'm telling the people. Did y'all know Trump actually started a whole social media site because Twitter wouldn't let him be on there?
Yeah.
And that was another thing. I don't like the man. Okay, but I mean, honestly, he's growing on me because I feel like everybody's trying to make me hate him so much. But I got to give him
They
credit.
made me
Like,
hate him too.
real quick, the fact the man, I'm gonna say it. I'll say it. Just taking away politics. The fact the man pushed out of a sea of suits with his face full of blood to go fight.
Yeah. He literally did
That
that.
says a
He
lot
literally
about him.
did that. He pushed out of it, raised his hands up, and as soon as I saw that, I was like, okay, we're good. This little bullet's not going to push him down, and he's going to keep fighting.
I was
Yes.
surprised that was what he did. Because I would have assumed something different. I'll just say, not trying to
no, I
ruffle
get it.
any
Yeah.
I
feathers.
should have had him on the ground.
I'm actually really not surprised he did something like that. 'Cause
Right,
I understand why you have your opinion. I think sometimes Trump, that's just who he is, and I think that's just one of the reasons why they don't like him is because he just is who he is. Even if you don't think that that's who he is, I think we've only ever really seen one side of Trump, and that's just Trump. And I don't want it any other way.
What you get with him. I think
Yeah.
I've pretty much believed that for some time. And I have also come a long way in my perception of him too. Like I don't get quite as like worked up by it. I'm just like not trying to run out and like vote for him. Let's see what he said real quick.
Yes, let's read that.
And then, oh, no, wrong thing. Here we go. Okay. So, True Social case, he said, I want to thank the United States Secret Service and all of law enforcement for their rapid response on the shooting that just took place in Butler, Pennsylvania. Most importantly, I want to extend my condolences to the family of the oh, can you imagine how that would feel?
No.
With their family to see you.
No, I can't.
There were little
no.
kids in there too, Brittany. Like I
Yes.
saw kids like on top of people's shoulders. Like you could tell like people were just so excited to be able to express their First Amendment right. And then for that to happen is so traumatic and so sad that those little kids.
Oh my God, it's sad.
There were kids standing right next to me, right where all the police were coming, and the mother of those children grabbed them and booked it.
Yeah.
As she should have. She
I
did
bet.
she was amazing on that.
I want to extend condolences, he says, and also to the family of another person who is badly injured. It is incredible that such an act can take place in our country. Nothing is known at this time about the shooter, who is now dead. I was shot with a bullet. See, that's what I was wondering. Was it a rubber? Was it like he's saying it right here? I was shot with a bullet that pierced the upper part of my right ear.
Yeah.
I knew immediately that something was wrong and that I heard a whizzing sound. Oh my God.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
This is a war zone. And immediately
Literally.
felt the bullet ripping through the skin. But bleeding took place. Oh, sorry, I'm too worked up. Much bleeding took place. Why you wrote it like that? So I realized much bleeding took place. I mean, I guess he has other things to worry about.
Probably
Literally in
fine.
the ER on
Yeah.
True Social. I could just see him.
I mean, that's kind of like that surprise witness coded, to be honest. Like,
Yeah.
we kind of have that in common. I'll be on the hospital bed, like,
Right.
look what happened.
Live updates.
These fucking people are at it again.
Right? Well,
That would
thankfully
be
the
me. I'm not
hospital he's
saying that's
going
what
to,
happened.
he's pretty
He's
safe
being
there.
taken
So,
care
So
of.
then he
anyhow.
says much bleeding took place. I don't know why he said that like that. So I realized
He's
then
probably shaken.
totally. And that's what I was also saying. I was
Sorry.
also saying that last night, like until just a totally obviously unrelated to this, until you're in a situation where your mind believes your life is in danger, you
Yep.
really can't. You don't even know. You could be hooked
No.
up to a lie detector test, and they could ask you, "What would you do if you were shot in the ear and you were standing behind and you might say something and it might be the truth on the lie detector test, but then whenever that cortisol and that adrenaline and that epinephrine and that all kicks in,
Yes.
you might throw the fist in the air and say fight. You don't know."
Right. Yes. And that's another thing that I do, like why I wanted to stress, because like I was almost shot. My mother was almost shot. My aunt was almost shot in one way, shape, or form. Any way that you put that, the cookie crumbles. It sounds horrible when you say it. And this happened 5 minutes from my home.
And y'all live right there.
Yes,
Y'all
a
don't pass
place that
by
I
there.
drive by all of the time. And so now imagine the almost paranoia that we have as people that live here. Are these people just walking amongst us? Like, and they just want to, like.
I think I would feel a little bit of
West.
paranoia too to express like a pro Trump sentiment, because you don't
That's
know
why
who's walking
my
around with a.
comments. That's my comments that I've made, saying some of the phrasing that I've said, because again, if y'all are listening, I am not doing anything. I did not have any involvement. I just witnessed it.
Right. And oh, where Shayne went? Oh, the camera's cutting out.
Sorry.
Can you see
Sorry.
me? Okay, sorry.
Yeah.
Somebody tried to call
A
me.
1,000,001 phone calls from everybody.
Everybody's calling. Y'all need to go. Uh-oh, we frozen again. Everybody's calling. Everybody's
We're good.
calling.
Yeah.
It's up to you. It's
Yeah.
up to you. If you want us to go, we'll go. If you want to keep chatting, we
I
probably
think
go.
I love it. I
We
mean,
can
y'all
switch
have a
the
lot
votes.
more valuable information than I have because I don't know, girl. I wasn't there. So
My
Yeah.
aunt's like, was it a setup? I was like,
have
I don't
seen
know, Aunt
people
Val.
saying that, but I don't even know. Like, I would need more information. What I will say,
Same.
I have a very open mind. I have a
No,
very
that's
open
fair.
mind.
Yeah.
We're just asking.
Yeah, and I mean, they're. I
Oh, that is ABC's news. ABC News is calling me and they want a statement. So
Oh shit!
How did they get your number?
The number that just called me texted me and said, "This is Daniel from ABC News International.
Y'all better go
your-
give ABC News a
We
statement
saw
because
your
they
tweets
might.
and we want your side of the
No,
story."
bull-
So
Y'all need to go give them a statement because you know why? Because if you don't,
Yeah,
they're gonna put another statement out that's not
They're
yours.
going
Yes,
to
yes.
spew it.
That's
So
why I wanted to come on
Yeah.
here. And as scary as it actually can be, thinking
Well,
like just speaking like this, you
Yeah.
know, you could
Look,
be,
hey, who you telling?
yeah. But I'm not. That is what they want. They want
Yeah.
us to be scared to not speak our voices, and I will not be
we
scared.
got to express that
Well,
First
let me
Amendment
just
right.
say, in front of God and everybody in the chat and everybody who watches this in the future, I personally support and encourage both y'all and Auntie and Mom and all y'all that was at the rally to be able to go and support your political candidate, not
Yes.
even have to even kind of think about it one time about if am I going to get shot. So y'all should have been able to do that. Number two thing, anybody in this group is allowed and welcome to come back on the channel after y'all get your thoughts collected. But I do think y'all should go and talk to the people with a little bit of bigger reach than me, because if y'all don't give them the statement, they're gonna put a statement out that's not
Amen.
yours.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yes. And the fake statements will be just
Definitely.
rolling around.
Well, thank you, Brittany,
It's
for
important for the
having us
people.
on and sharing and allowing us to use
Yeah.
our
Thank
your
you,
space.
Brittany.
How
Yeah.
can
Sending you love.
how
Yeah,
can
thank you.
people follow y'all? I'm sure you'll be tweeting about it and stuff.
Yeah, you can follow me on or X is SJB2524. My Instagram is SHAYNEOO. And then yeah, you can find me there and yeah, reach out to me and would love to chat more. So
Thank y'all both so much for coming on. Thank you,
Yes.
Mom.
Yeah. Thank
Y'all
you,
better
Brittany.
be careful. Y'all better watch yourself because I might show up in that pool in the backyard
All
one of
right,
these
Girl,
days.
Hey,
pull up,
and
pull
when
up.
I'm in Philly, we'll be reaching out. So great to see
Please,
you.
I would
Thank
love
you, Brittany.
that.
Thank
Okay.
you for letting us put our voice out there.
Of
Thank you.
course, anytime. Thanks so
Thank you.
much. See y'all
Bye,
later.
Take care.
everyone.
Stay safe,
Bye.
everyone.